Hey everybody, KC here. So the stories we've been reading out of Texas just sound awful. I mean, they've been hammered by storms. They don't have the infrastructure to deal with it. People aren't used to it. They apparently don't even have the electrical grid to deal with this kind of a problem. I keep wondering to myself, all those Californians who moved to Texas because they wanted lower taxes, what are they thinking right now? Anyway, there was a nice story, though, that a friend of mine sent me. It had been on Facebook, and it was by somebody who, with his wife, Deb, went to their local HEB because they wanted to make sure they picked up some things before the next storm. And according to this posting, halfway through our shopping trip, the store's power went out. Now, it was still light out because it was only about 3:30 p.m., so we kept shopping, as hundreds of other people did too. So I told Deb, let's hurry in case they tell us we must stop shopping and check out right away. We picked up some milk and some other items for other family members, and we wanted to make sure we got everything we were there for. Well, sure enough, about 10 or 15 minutes later, one of the HEB employees asked us to head to the checkout area and said, we'll check everyone out as quickly as we can. We have a process for this kind of thing. So we got to a line where there were about 10 full carts in front of us, and there were many other lines on both sides of us, and a lot of people behind us, probably several hundred people waiting to be checked out. By the way, the store had a lot of empty shelves at this point, but there was enough stuff for most people's needs. So we waited in line for about 15 or 20 minutes and barely moved up one, maybe two slots. And then all of a sudden, we started moving faster. We both thought, whoa, they're checking people out quickly. Must be all hands on deck. Well, in a few minutes, we were asked to move to the next checkout aisle that was open. And we got to the checkout woman, and she asked, do you have any alcohol? And the guy responded, no, but if you're giving out drinks, I could use one right about now. She then said, please go ahead, but we can't bag anything up for you. Well, at first, Deb and I were a little bit confused. And I asked, well, how do we pay for our groceries? And we probably had a couple $100 worth of groceries. She said, just go ahead. Be safe driving home. And then we noticed the lines of people after the checkout stands proceeding with full carts of groceries, all being directed by the store employees who were there to greet us on our way out and tell everybody to be safe. Well, Deb began tearing up, which always gets me start to tear up too, as we could not believe the generosity of HEB and the kindness of that wonderful gesture. They could just as easily have asked us to leave the store as soon as the power went out, or asked us to leave the groceries in the carts. But instead, they allowed people to continue shopping for 10 or 15 minutes after the power went out and let everybody leave the store without getting a single dollar for all the groceries that people were getting. This person says, I salute HEB for the kindness they showed us, the thoughtfulness they showed us, and the generosity they showed us, and the caring that they showed us, along with the hundreds of other Texans who were in the store at that time. Now listen, here's the deal. I mean, yes, probably tens of thousands of dollars may have been lost by HEB, but let me tell you something. The power that will accrue to them in terms of how people will view them as being part of the community. And by the way, HEB doesn't really have to do that because HEB is Texas, but that's an incredibly powerful statement in terms of the connection to their customers. All those customers are coming back. Some of those customers may actually pay for the groceries, some of the groceries that they took home, and HEB will be repaid in spades. It is an extraordinary story, and with all the stuff that's going on in Texas right now, I thought it was important to share one really good news story with you. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning, and as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.